في مقابلة مع الشرق خلال معرض سيتي سكيب العالمي في الرياض، قال الرئيس التنفيذي لمجموعة روشن العقارية ديفيد غروفر إن الشركة جمعت 11 مليار ريال من المبيعات حتى الآن، وتخطط لتسليم 7000 وحدة سكنية نهاية هذا العام.
So Rochen currently control around 200 square kilometres of land across the kingdom. We're a nationwide giga project, so that means we're in major cities. So we've got our first development here in Cedra in Riyadh. We just launched another new scheme today, Wareefa, which is also in Riyadh. We have a big scheme in Jeddah called Al-Arus, which is part of Marafi, which is also announced in the past couple of weeks, a big canal project. We're in Hafuf, we own land in Qatif, in Hajj. We have a big site in Mecca. So Rochen is spread across the whole kingdom, and we're trying to get all these master plans moving at pace all at the same time. So it's a very diversified portfolio. We currently have in construction just under 40,000 homes. We are coming to the completion of our first few phases. So by the end of this year, we will have moved in around 3,000 families, 3,500 families. The first customers moved in a year ago, almost 2 years ahead of the initial date that we promised. So we've been super fast in actually delivering what we said we would do. Feedback from the customers is incredibly high in terms of quality of product, quality of our handover process, and also quality of how Rochen interacts with the customers. So I think that's important. In terms of number of units completed, so we'll have 7,000 plus units completed by the end of this year, something like that. We've sold 10 to 11 billion Rials worth of homes so far since we launched 18 months ago. So it's super fast business again to sell that many homes so quickly. Currently Rochen are working on a program of around 400,000 new homes spread across numerous sites around the kingdom. So we're on track for that. That's very much our plan. It will be market driven, market facing, so we won't overproduce units in the wrong cities and locations, and we need to make sure we're nimble so as demand moves around that Rochen can deliver quickly. So it's around 400,000 homes is our plan between now and 2030.
من ناحية أخرى تحدث غروفر عن تفاصيل مشروع مرافي والذي يتسع لأكثر من 130 ألف نسمة ويتضمن قناة مائية بطول 11 كيلومتر.
Marafi launch, which we did this week, has been something in gestation for nearly 2 years. So it's not something to suddenly come up as a new project. So as Rochen own a lot of the land around the airport in Jeddah. We also now own a company called Uptown Jeddah Company, and this is a PIF entity, and their responsibility is to create a special economic zone around the airport. So there's been some synergy in terms of bringing those lands together. The canal ambition has been to actually activate and articulate what happens north of the airport near the Olpo Creek. So bringing the water in is the best way of creating value and also about changing lifestyles again. And changing lifestyles is very much part of Vision 2030. So this has been supported by our board and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince in terms of bringing in a canal. It also gives us a chance to create a water connection from the airport back into the canal as well in the northern part of Jeddah. And it enables now a more strategic reassessment of what happens in that part of the city. Rochen also has a role on the airport at the moment. We're working with the Ministry of Transport, and we've worked up a new master plan for the airport. So now it's an integrated thought process. It isn't just about isolated pieces of land. It's very much about joining up every aspect in northern Jeddah, which is where the idea came from. Now in terms of timing, so we've started the first phase of Marafi called Al-Arus, which is residential, which is villas and apartments, villas mostly. And then it moves into apartments and into commercial and mixed use. So you'll see us moving into that. We will announce this week, in the next few days, that our contractor for the canal. So that contractor has now been selected and they will start work in the next few weeks. So that's an important message, I think, from us in terms of we're serious, it's real, it's happening, Rochen are going to deliver. So we'll be making that announcement in a few days' time.
كذلك أشار غروفر إلى أن روشن تسعى للتوسع في مشاريعها خارج المملكة خلال السنوات ال5 المقبلة، قائلا أيضا أن المجموعة تدرس إمكانية طرح جزء من أسهمها في المستقبل.
Rosen's ambition isn't just about Saudi. We clearly have a lot of work to do within Saudi in the next 5 to 10 years, but that shouldn't limit the ambition that the company has. We've already created a strong management team, a great delivery team. Roshun has got a great reputation for delivering on time and delivering quality product. So it is natural to start looking at further afield outside Saudi. And certainly if you want to have an ambition where we go for a public listing and value creation, you want some diversity in your portfolio. So we have started, we're at the early days of that journey, looking at other countries, so certainly GCC located, and a bit further afield as well. So I think I was asked a question on stage about what we'll be talking about in 5 years' time. And I think in 5 years' time it's pretty realistic that we'll be talking about some overseas investments and developments. Now, whether it's in the shorter term or 5 years, I think we need to work with our board on that in terms of their direction. In terms of the way we're funded, I mentioned equity and debt. All PIF projects are working on a longer term plan which is about IPO, flotation and value creation. So we're actively involved in that thought process at the moment and picking up the various ways we might want to raise a bond or we might want to raise funding in the long term. In the short term, we are well funded by the receipts that we get by selling homes, and because we're selling so many homes, that cash that comes in enables us to keep funding our following schemes. So definitely on the horizon, not immediate, because we don't need to do that, and we need to go to the market at the right time where we can create the maximum value for PIF. The flotation plans I've mentioned really in terms of an IPO, whether that's the whole parent company or subsidiaries, you'll see Roshun, I think, in the near future moving into more vertical delivery models. And what I mean by that is having the core residential business, our commercial business, our retail business, and our F&B business, a Roshun.com platform. We see huge value in that. And there'll be points in time where we look at each of those operating companies, which are all agreed as part of our business plan with our board. We look at them either individually or collectively. We might say, here's an opportunity to list one part of the group. That's the perfect time to do it, or it could be listing the whole. But we need to work with our funding partner, PIF, to agree that strategy. And we're in the early days of that thought process.